Welcome back to Block TV. This is Trader's Take. Now, after a week of wacky and wild market movements, seemingly the crypto markets have decided to calm down. And today, to help dive into the charts and help spill it all for us, we do have the fortune teller, the fortune maker, the man himself, Joe Saz. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
Yo, it's great to see you and happy to be here.
Well, it's always good to have you here on the show. Now tell us, what's going on with Bitcoin seemingly have calmed down?
Yeah, oh yeah, this has been, a little bit of a change of pace here, considering we had these, pretty violent moves up. So, let's take a look. Let's dive into the 15-minute chart and see what's been happening over the past few days. As you can see, this is pretty much as boring as it gets. With some, a little bit of action in between, these aren't moves that I'm looking to play. This is a little bit of action, but we're mostly just riding a straight line. We're getting saved from, breaking down into the 8,500 or lower territory. We're getting capped out at the 8,700. I'm sorry, I'm so, so used to talking about the 7,000s. So there's been a couple pops. We had right after that dump, we had what appeared to be the kick off of a retrace. Maybe, this thing really should retrace, in my opinion, not long from now. But anyways, they started it and then immediately rejected into a violent sell-off and then a massive pump. I mean, this has just been literally designed to hurt, is what I keep telling people that I talk to. Like, this is literally designed to hurt. This is a little more gradual, not as dangerous. Going down to 84 up to 87, all within, a couple hours time. And then we had it again yesterday where we started breaking out, got to 8,700, and then we broke down to a ultimate low of 86, just around 8,600 flat. So what does this mean to me? Means we're in a little bit of a choppy space. Buyers and sellers are still a little curious. They don't really know what the next play is. So people, are sitting with their, ideas and kind of stewing right now. And it might even, I think people might have taken profits and they're sitting this play out, because the next play is probably going to be a dramatic move, I believe, in whatever direction. It's going to take a whale, or it's going to take violent buying or selling to break through the support we have below and the resistance we have above. So whatever ends up happening, it's going to take a big swing. And once we break it, then obviously that's going to trigger a FOMO frenzy after, whether it's buying or selling. So I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. Obviously, I'm still long. The thing that I've been kind of talking about is, 8,500 was kind of the pullback area. 8,200 was the fear area. That was going to be the area that would, force people to shut down their trades, even at a loss. In my opinion, I believe 8,200 would have been that area where people would have said we've topped out, dead cat bounces over. Now, every time that we've moved up to 8,700 or so and then dumped immediately afterwards, that's basically saved us that move to 8,200. So I feel like we're getting a lot of the fear out right now while we're channeling sideways. Like, this is just a desert, right? We're just like flat as far as the eye can see, minus a couple of blips, bips there. So I think that since we popped up to 8,700 a few times, maybe three times, and I feel like every time we've dumped immediately after, that's been the fear. So I think that this has ruled 8,200 off the table, at least for now. And then I'm going to have to. I'm going to stay long, and we'll see what happens. It's a little bit scary. Let's take a quick look at the daily, though, because I think we're going to see that there's a little bit more going on. We did get rejected by the 200-day moving average, our long-term moving average. Here's our bullish crossover, the short intermediate-term moving average. I wonder if we can quickly see what happened when we had our bearish crossover. That basically led to the dump out of the descending triangle preceded the bearish crossover of the short and intermediate term moving averages. So let's hope, that this is going to kick us off for a nice move to the upside. I'm still, I'm still eyeing that 9,400 target. Nothing's changed there to the upside. I don't have any stops set below because I believe 9,400 is the most likely scenario, and I don't want to get wicked out of a trade, and so I'm riding this out. I'm inclined to think that 9,400 is more likely. In fact, I'm more inclined to think that 10K is more likely than to happen than 6K or lower at this point. So that's just how I'm feeling right now. We'll see. Let's hope that this bullish crossover reveals something very powerful in the market, and that's kind of where we are with Bitcoin. Still sitting well above this trend line, still above the daily parabolic star, and a quick look at the weekly. I just want to get our MACD back because this is important. We did have a lucid SAR break into a bullish posture. We did have a MACD bullish crossover on the weekly, so this is really good. Last time we had our bullish crossover, things went well. That was pretty much over here. That's excluding this chop zone, by the way. So I'm kind of interpreting this as more of this bullish crossover, and I'm interpreting this bearish crossover as this bearish crossover. So I was basically bearish from here until our bullish crossover, and this is a lagging indicator. So this is, I think, going to be a great setup for what could be an extended bull market, maybe over the next, again, till the halvening, and then maybe a halvening dump, and hopefully a continuation of an uptrend. But we'll have to revisit this scenario when we get that deep in.
Bitcoin is boring. Less than 0.5% move on the day. Call me when something happens with it, Joe. Let's look at some altcoins. Things are happening there. Let's take a look at BSV. That's moving.
Yeah, let's see. So a quick look at dominance. Let's see what altcoins are doing, and we'll pop our heads into BSV here. Looks like Litecoin's taking a move up. Bitcoin down to 67% dominance. So damn, you're right, Iona. These are some big moves. Altcoins are stepping up and taking about 2 to 3% of Bitcoin's dominance over the past few days or maybe a week or so. January 13th. So maybe over the past couple weeks, alts have been stepping up. So let's start taking a look at some of these guys. ETH on a 9 cell daily, haven't really responded to it. This is interesting. We did have a pullback on the 8, so I would be fine with this if we continued our uptrend. Let's see what's happening with BSV though. Like you said, this is one that I find very interesting. Wow, this looks to be like the bull trap. I'm going to if we don't get a higher high, then this is a classic case of bull trap itis, and we're going to come back down. I mean, I don't even know if Tyler would consider this a hyperwave or anything like that. A very small time scale one, but obviously on the daily, hyperwave typically applies to the weekly. So I would say that this would have a similar structure though. We did kind of move up pretty quick, and we'd had a vertical 144% move. So if this doesn't make a higher high, then I'm going to call this a bull trap, and I'm going to assume that we're coming down to probably the lower 100 areas. Maybe even 100 flat, could be less. But we do have their halvenings coming up, and considering how centralized these coins are and how illiquid these market caps are, it's going to be very easy to move the price of both Bitcoin Cash SV and Bitcoin Cash ABC. So Craig and Calvin are going to be able to move BSV. Roger is going to be able to move BCH. The market cap is so low. I mean, if these guys own so much of it, which they do, no one doubts the fact that Craig owns a lot of Bitcoin, and no one doubts the fact that Roger does. So obviously they're going to have their own forked coins, which they're forked fortunes as well. So pretty much as long as we have such a small group of people in control of such a large amount of coins relative to the market cap, it's going to be easy for them to move the price, whether it's pulling liquidity on the sell side, instigating FOMO, doing whatever they need to do. They're going to be able to move the price. So this is something that we're going to want to pay attention to. We could take a quick look at Litecoin, since this is one that everyone's been talking about for quite some time now as like a front runner to the wider market space. Litecoin has now seen its good little bit of resistance from the 200-day moving average. We're starting to rest a little bit and possibly even come back up to test this 200-day moving average. So on Litecoin, our short-term moving average is now getting bullish, and acted as support and is now curling up. Our intermediate term moving average, as you can see, the angle is starting to shift here, and hopefully this thing will pop up. So we could be weeks out from a bullish crossover, the short and intermediate term moving average. That's going to be very important. But right now, I really want to see how we react to the 200-day moving average, because we have seen other coins take that out already. I don't know if you okay, Ethereum has not, but BCH, um, um, as reported by Coinbase, has broken violently through the 200-day moving average. So in a 30% move. Very, very big, very dramatic. This is obviously not as dramatic as the BSB moves, but then again, I do think BSB would probably be more manipulated of a coin, more easy to manipulate, especially than Bcash, Roger coin. So I guess that's just kind of the nature of the business right now. We are on a bullish crossover, days out from it, of the short and intermediate term moving averages. So we'll see what kind of dust that stirs up. If bulls are really kicking, then we'll find out then. I would be curious. I don't really watch this stuff. Maybe I'll try to get some more data on this to find out who's really buying, and see if I can deduce if this is small single or small groups of people buying massive amounts, or if this is massive amounts of people buying small amounts, which would be a more bullish case scenario in my eyes.
Well, Joe, I want to shake things up a little bit. I want to talk about a coin that we usually don't on the show, Tether. They recently announced the burning of $64 million worth of USDT. Take a look at those charts. Tell me what's happening. Tell me what's your take on that story.
Yeah, I have no shortage of things to say about Tether. I mean, the burn is kind of important. So just a quick background: Tether needs to be able, in order to maintain the stability of a price at $1, right, which is the goal of Tether. They need to be able to manipulate the circulating supply, and manipulate isn't necessarily a bad term. You need to be able to increase the circulating supply when demand increases, and you need to be able to decrease the circulating supply when demand decreases. So there should be an inverse correlation to price in general. Now we did have, so this is what's weird to me. They're announcing a reduction of Tether by, it looks like we might even be able to see the difference here. The numbers are too small for me to see right now. We were at 4.63 bill yesterday, and we're at 4.57 bill today. So we're now looking at a pretty big move to the downside. I don't really know if this is them burning for any altruistic purpose, considering we just had on January 5th a 500 million print. So burning 10% of that, or maybe just over, is not really a big deal to me. It does draw a little bit of curiosity. I'm not 100% sure what that means in general. I don't know if they're saying, hey, we're trying to do good, or we're removing coins from circulation. Maybe demand is a little bit less than it was. Maybe exchange demand is less. Maybe institutional demand is less. But I'm inclined to think that might not be the case, because we do have that tweet of Paolo Arduino straight up saying, that there's institutional interest in Bitcoin, and he's excited about it. I can't remember his word for word tweet there, but I'm not sure how to feel about this. I don't know if this is him trying to pump the market and get people excited, or if this is him saying, hey, everyone, everything's good, and next thing you know, there's going to be a massive decrease in Tether, and that correlates to a massive decrease in price, which would look very similar to the October situation we had, where right before, about a month out from the dump that we had breaking down from the descending triangle, Bitcoin started correlating with the circulating supply of Tether. So, which is to say that we had a massive move to the downside in the circulating supply, from 2.7 billion to a low of 1.5 billion, running alongside a, so here's the breakdown from there to there: 2.7 bill down to 1.6. And that's what the price action that followed was quite insane. Now, here's the inverse correlation that Tether did have, and this is when they broke it. Now we've been correlated ever since. So this is interesting data to me. Obviously, I do believe a lot of manipulation was involved in this, considering the court case. But I don't feel like since January 5th we've had $500 million or 500 million tethers worth of buying enter the space. So I'm a little curious to see what's going to happen as a result of this burn. I want to say that, yeah, it could be bearish, but I still haven't seen $500 million worth of Bitcoin bought in over the past few weeks. I would think that 500 mil should have pushed us probably well above 10K. So that would be my natural inclination to say that I don't think the upside move, if Tether is in any way associated with an upside move, it's not done. So a 64 mil burn, whatever it is, it doesn't concern me too much, but it's just something to take note of, and it's a great observation.
Well, Joe, thank you for that. For sure, we'll keep an eye on things. And when something happens, we'll for sure get your trader's take on it. Oh, that's why it's called the segment that it is. Well, Joe, thank you so much for joining us here today on Trader's Take, and for always a blast with you. And if you want some more news on cryptocurrencies and blockchain, make sure to check us out at blocktv.com.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.